Here we go. That's recording. That's recording. In 3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome. Thanks for joining us again under the library. As usual, we are playing Call of Cthulhu, more specifically, the homebrew module set in the town of Bloodstone, written and created by our very own keeper. And I think to start off tonight, we're going to have a bit of a conundrum on our hands. My name's Arthur. I'm playing Harold. I'm joined by our wonderful cast of investigators. Rick is playing Philip. Wayne is Oak Tree Larson. Chris is Beau. Emily's Florence. And Scott is Yocker. And of course, the aforementioned keeper is Michael. Michael, take it away.
Hey, thanks for joining us in Bloodstone. Bloodstone is a tabletop role-playing game set in the Call of Cthulhu universe. We feature themes such as cannibalism. Now you know, Scott, there is cannibalism.
I'm still waiting for you to screw up the introduction.
Don't worry, I will. I'm sure it's coming. Horror and other themes of maturity played by immature people. And on that note, we hope you continue to join us. And here's Emily with last week's recap.
Nailed it.
Okay. So last week we began a new day. Day 4 in Bloodstone.
Don't say that. Please don't say that.
And we began with another issue of the Bloodstone expose. There was an article about the situation at Gerald's house called Booms from the North. An article called Missing, about missing Sheriff Henry Stone. The Wasting is Back told us about a woman who has been having a wasting disease of some sort. And she's right now in the chapel.
I passed my illness on to Emily.
Hey, I'm fine. I'm doing fine. And finally, there was a note to stay clear of the snakes, which are making their return. So as we began, Beau and Yocker were still at Seraphim Falls with unconscious Philip. And Yocker awoke in the morning feeling strangely well after his surgery. His wound is also healing strangely quickly. So they head back to, and Oak Tree was there as well. Oak Tree had not slept, he had kept watch overnight. So they all head back to Potter's place, bringing Philip along. And on the way out, they did see a rattlesnake outside of the door, but Beau was able to flick it off the porch, and the rest of the travel was uneventful. So back at Potter's place, unconscious and tied up Philip is locked in the closet. And we are still trying to figure out what to do about also unconscious and wounded Casper. Florence decides she wants to get Sage to look at him. So she goes along with Harold and Yocker to visit Sage and ask for her help, while Oak Tree and Beau stay with Philip at the shop. And Sage agrees to come back, collect some supplies, comes along with us, and it begins to tend to Casper, although quickly realizes he'll need round-the-clock care, which makes things a little bit more difficult. She sends Harold, Beau, and Yocker to go get a list of items for her, while Oak Tree and Florence help her continue to care for Casper. At this point, Oak Tree is ministering to Casper while Florence and Sage talk in the kitchen. Florence tells her about the strange experience she had with her sister back in Deadwood and just some of the things that have been happening. And as Sage holds Florence's head with strangely hot hands, she sits for 10 or 20 minutes on the floor, yet it feels like no time has passed. And she has this vision, a vision of Rose, and she's unable to reach Rose, and it becomes very intense. She feels as if she's been stabbed in the stomach and shrieks and passes out. At this point, Oak Tree comes in. Sage tries to wake Florence, burns some herbs, They continue to work on Casper. Eventually, the rest of the party returns and Florence wakes too. She vomits. Beau vomits because of the Florence's vomit. There was just some vomit.
We were still vomiting in this
It
episode.
was still, yeah, yeah. I think
So
before
not crazy
passing
about
out,
this whole trend.
when she came out of the weird trance, Florence vomited. Yeah.
Oh.
Anyway, everybody's now back, and the end of the episode was just a discussion, which we did not end up finishing. Was left kind of open-ended as to what to do next, because frankly, we're just torn between whether it makes the most sense to go and get Rose from Deadwood, whether she'll be safe there or whether she should be with us, or whether it's too dangerous to go there at all after the interactions with the law and being told never to come back again, etc. So that's where we ended.
And on that note, I'll just sit back and watch y'all struggle over what's the best, worst decision to make.
Great.
Yeah, there's so many choices that we have right now. There's a lot of open-ended threads, and choosing which one to follow is, like I said, a bit of a conundrum. Anyone have any strong feelings one way or another?
I think one of the things we were talking about last time is picking. The problem with getting Rose, getting your sister, is we can't care for her. We don't have someone to care for her. Like, so going and getting her is dangerous. And then even if we get her back, we're bringing her to a place that we know is dangerous, and we have no one that can care for her.
Yeah, Florence absolutely agrees with that, but she does have a level, I have a level of nervousness at this point about whether Rose is truly safe where she is, especially because of the story that she told me of this strange vision that she had that was like a memory from her past, but a new memory of drinking tea with our grandmother, supposedly, that had lamava in it. And when I was there, I don't know if I mentioned to you that I actually tried to just get into the kitchen to look around, because I had this crazy thought that maybe they were giving her the stuff. I couldn't get in, and I don't know what the situation is, but something about her has changed, and now she's having visions of drinking lamava.
Yeah, that's my worry too, is that leaving her there is going to be dangerous for her, and that somehow she seems central to what we're going through here. It seems like having her a part of this feels like it's crucial.
And Harold, you had mentioned that you thought that maybe this vision that I had was actually like that maybe I could communicate with her, and maybe I could try to do it again to warn her to expect you, because I can't go back, and Oak Tree can't go back, and probably Yacker can't go back.
Yeah, that is what I was thinking. It did seem like you had a communication with her there, but the other part of that is, were you told not to come back to town, or was it just Oak Tree? And either way, it seems like it'd be a whole lot easier to hide you, maybe with myself and Beau, and dare I say Philip, that maybe we could get the four of us into town and not cause as much problems as, the giant Oak Tree and the one-eyed Yacker, or one-armed Yacker.
I'm pretty sure if you bring Philip in there, they're not
Yacker.
going to let Philip leave. I think they're going to lock Philip up when they see him.
Philip? Why do they have a problem with Philip?
I don't know. Someone winds up telling him about his predilection towards, I don't know, eating his friends.
Well, let's hope that story hasn't made it there.
Friends. He didn't eat his friends. He just ate some dude.
Some rando?
Just ate strangers.
He didn't even know Gerald.
I mean, if you overlook his wife and child, yeah, he ate strangers.
Well, we as characters, we don't know.
Right, yeah, we don't know about
that. That we wouldn't know. Oh, I guess it's a good point. I guess you're allowed to eat people that you don't know. That's totally reasonable.
But are they bad, and are they really tasty? That's my questions.
I don't know. We better ask Philip. Philip, were they yummy in your tummy?
Philip's in the closet.
Of which, yeah, we probably should let Philip out of the closet.
Is this Phillips coming out?
So Harold, to your point, well, eventually Philip can come out of the closet.
Put the candle back.
But to your point, I will have to go back to Deadwood. I mean, I can't just abandon Rose. I'm just worried about. I was not implicated directly, but the sheriff there definitely did see me and saw me with them. It's a gray area.
Yeah, but from the
Well,
story
I
you
don't,
told. Oh, sorry, Beau.
Oh, I was going to say, I don't think it's going to take a force of all of us to do that. I would think just Florence and maybe just one other person to keep her safe. Maybe Florence and myself. I've got the badge. I can, and someone last week mentioned Florence could say something like there was a death in the family. And I just want to take her out for, the day so she can go to the funeral, and then we'll test it out. And well, I guess we would all have to go there. Yeah, and you guys just stay back. We test it out. If we get resistance, then we might have to come at it with take that to mean that
Guns
something's
a-blazing?
up. Yeah.
Is my shotgun arm ready?
Now, just to play.
It's only been one night.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's more than enough time to make a shotgun arm.
It is enough
Just to
time
play
to
devil's
heal.
advocate, I don't know if I told the rest of you about this. Maybe I only told Harold, but I am, as much as it kills me to say this, I'm not sure she would come with me right now. I'm not sure that Rose would.
Oh, yes, I remember you did tell us about how she said, "Don't touch me."
She wouldn't let me touch her. She said she
Yeah.
couldn't see me. She said there was darkness around me, and that I had to burn my books, and I most certainly have not done that.
Mm.
Well, maybe it's worth trying to communicate with
Well,
her again if that's
maybe-
what happened.
Yeah, maybe she would. Do you have any relatives left alive? First of all.
Not on this end of the country, just back
Mm.
in Massachusetts.
Because she certainly wouldn't play along with a fib if.
She doesn't
Well,
deal with
is there-
change well.
Is there someone in town that she was close with? Because she lived in town, right?
She did. Keeper, can I make someone up, or do you?
Yeah, go for it.
Well, I don't have to make someone up. She could have very well been close with Sage. I mean, Sage would have been here 4 years ago, and
Sure.
okay,
That would make
We'll
sense.
stick with a character that already exists. Yeah.
Since we don't have enough NPCs y'all don't interact with.
I'll be kind. I won't make someone up on the fly.
So
Okay.
yeah,
I mean, unless they're like a Lamava expert that's been in the tunnels and knows all the secrets, like Uncle Jeb. But
Oh,
you
yeah,
know.
that's my friend. I'm going to go
Uncle
talk to
Jeff
him
doesn't
right
know the
now.
secrets. He just drinks the Lamava juice. He loves it.
Sorry. Yeah. Go ahead.
Sage
Emma.
is still here.
Yeah.
Of course. Okay. Well, I mean, Sage, you and Rose were pretty close, right?
Oh, that's me. Wait, did we send the body back? We didn't send the body back yet, right? I mean, not the body.
What
the pers-
body?
the
What
person.
body?
You mean the person she's caring for?
Yeah.
No, he's still here.
Deep.
We didn't
Asian?
send him anywhere.
The one who's not dead,
Living person who's laying on my floor.
who's not a body.
Is that just really creepy foreshadowing there, Keeper?
Who knows? Wait, yes, you know that, Florence.
Yeah, I mean, gosh, but how much can we ask poor Sage for? I mean, we can't ask her to care for Casper. We can't ask her to just care for Rose 24/7. You have a life. I don't know what to do.
Well, I mean, we are offering to pay. It would be a paid job.
Casper's gonna need round-the-clock care if there's any hope for him pulling through. This is a grievous injury.
Well, we don't know Casper from a bag of assholes. Let's go You just sort of push him to the side.
Oh, what
and
happened to your accent?
I don't know. I can't
He just
hear.
turned into the colonel.
I don't know what my accent is. These things are just messing with my hearing. What do I sound like? Yeah, so probably no, that ain't it. That's
that was
what's
the no,
going
that
on
ain't
here?
it. That was it.
No, that ain't the fucking accent.
But it was
I
deeper.
just won't talk for the rest of the episode.
You'll get it.
What if we took Casper to Deadwood and left him at the hospital and then brought Rose home? I mean, they kept Yaker alive.
And did they made me even better.
We could
I ain't
see.
been this good in years. I can't believe how good I'm doing. Woo!
Oh gosh, what's the name of the twin that's not an asshole? We could see Doctor.
The twin that's not an
there's-
asshole.
Dr. Goodfellow, Dr. Aaron Goodfellow. Yes. I'd rather not see Xavier again.
And now, at the same time, there's lots of other things going on that we would have to let drop in order to go get Rose. And I know that I've been advocating for the Rose part, but I just want to devil's advocate for a bit that we got this kid that was carried off by bat monstrosity.
I promised her that I would go get her.
There you
That's
go.
it.
There,
Yeah,
Beau's
now
back.
that I took one of the earplugs out, and now I can hear
Now
my
you can
voice.
hear.
Okay.
So yeah, I promised her I would go get her kid back. So I know
And
it's
Beau,
only been.
I told you I'd help you in that endeavor, so I'm ready to go with my soon-to-be aforementioned shotgun arm and go hunt that thing down with you.
Well, maybe we can split up again, and some of us go fetch Rose, and others go off on a little side trek, so we can try, getting to the end of some of these strings.
Yeah, I mean anything to make the keeper's life more difficult. I'm up for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I will admit I'm not too eager to go into that place again. I mean,
Well, not that he's here, but Philip wasn't there, so he won't be recognized.
oh, I mean the vision place. Like if I have
Oh,
to talk
that
to
place.
Rose
Oh,
first,
yeah.
Oh, okay.
maybe we could take a day.
Do you think
you don't know what
Rose-
it was like in there.
Do you think she'll be safe for a day? What does your gut tell you about that?
I mean, if something's happening there, it's happening slowly.
What is that?
She's well cared for. She was comfortable. She had her familiar things around her, her schedule. She just was cold to me. She was just weird. She was different.
But what about in the place where you were talking to her?
I mean, oh God. Well, that I can't believe that that's real. I mean, maybe we were communicating, but if everything in that space was real, she screamed such a scream, it sounded like she could have been dying.
Well,
So please don't tell me that place is real.
Well, Sage, what do you think? You seem to be the expert here. What do you think that place was, and what would your opinion be of that communication? Is it real?
I wouldn't discount it. Florence and Rose do have a very strong connection, and being that they're twins, I mean, I would be reluctant to just write it off.
So you think they may have actually been communicating somehow?
It wouldn't be the strangest thing to me.
Okay. It's pretty strange, but I guess if that's your bailiwick, then maybe it's not strange to you.
The look on Florence's face says she needs to make a sanity roll.
That's fair, because Florence was not appreciating the fact that certain aspects of that situation could have been real, like that scream of horrible pain and agony. Luckily, Florence rolled a 16.
Oh, all right. She's stealing herself for the what's to come.
Mm-hmm. Well, now I'm even more torn. I mean, do you think I actually heard her, felt her pain? I just thought a vision's a vision, and you know,
Make.
what does it mean, really?
Here, I'll make a roll. How's that?
No, I can make a roll. My rolls are good.
I mean, I wasn't there, Florence, so I couldn't tell you for sure, but it's certainly not beyond the realm of reason for me.
You were right there with me physically, though. Could you
But I wasn't.
hear anything, experience anything? Like, did you hear Rose's voice? Because she was talking to me, you know.
But I wasn't in it with you.
You didn't hear her?
I didn't hear her.
Okay. Did you hear me? Did you hear me talking to her?
Well, yes, we could hear you talking.
Okay. I don't know what this means. I just don't want to go back there.
Well, let's make a decision one way or t'other.
Yeah, I
I'd say
think.
if
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I'd say we got to go after that boy next, and maybe as we're doing that, some decision will come to you, Miss Florence.
Okay.
And
I'll think about it.
and we got to decide what to do with Phil. It's I heard him making a fuss in there, so he's certainly awake.
I'd say he slipped it off. We need him. He's a good shot, and if one of them creatures comes for us, I'd rather have a gun in his hand shooting at one of those things than locked up in some
Okay.
closet
One
somewhere.
of those
Just to
creatures.
be clear,
Stop
just to be clear now, he slept off the cannibalism.
And the blood drinking.
Well,
Well,
I don't know
I mean,
about all
I'm
that
not
stuff.
feeling like I have a lot of.
Well, what did we think about it? What did we do when old can't think of his name. Was he Clarence?
Quentin.
Was he Quentin? When old Quentin got overtook by the darkness. You remember, Florence, you pointed the
Well,
gun
I
at him.
do.
What did we do with him?
I pulled up the ladder and I reasoned with him from a position of control.
Okay, well, Phil's tied up in there. You've got experience reasoning with the unreasonable. So why don't we open the door? You go have. We'll back you up, but you go
Okay.
have a talk to Phil. See
From a position
see
of
what
control.
you can glean. Whether he's got, whether he's overtook by the darkness, or whether it's let him go.
Okay. I'll
Okay,
try.
I'll open the door, and there's Phil.
Does he have a ball gag in his mouth?
No, he doesn't. We didn't.
He'd be
gag him.
smiling then.
He's just tied up.
Just a can of beans with a rope around it.
Close enough.
A bean gag.
Yeah, his ankles are tied and his wrists are tied, and it's fairly loose because we didn't want him to be, didn't want the circulation to be cut off from his extremities.
Well, Beau, why don't you untie his hands and I'm going to bring him a glass of water.
Well, you said you wanted to talk to him from a position of control. Wouldn't it be better if he stayed tied up?
Well, there are five
like
of
pulling
us,
Okay.
and he's in a closet, and I was just going to try to make him a little more comfortable and amenable to discussion.
Okay, I will do, Miss Florence. And I go in there. Morning, Phil. Rise and shine. Miss Florence wants to have a little talk with you.
Would you like a glass of water?
I cut loose and I step back.
Oh, Beau, you seem to be a lot more.
Oh, are we going to revisit that, Phil?
No, it's
You
much
just
more
can't let it go.
of a pleasant discussion than I was anticipating. So this is great.
Yeah,
Very nice.
Oak Tree, would you step in there just to keep an eye on things, please?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll step aside so that Phil can't even see me. I don't want to be part of this discussion. You guys take it away.
How are you feeling, Philip?
I well potched and hurt a little bit, but
Physically or emotionally?
emotionally devastated. But why don't
I'm sorry you had to spend the night in here, but you have us all a little worried.
He actually
Well,
spent the night at Seraphim
I'm sorry,
Falls.
I misspoke. It was just a very long morning.
it's a very long morning here in the
Weeks long.
weeks
Yeah.
long. So yeah, that would be this would be very nice to get out of this closet. It's been a little claustrophobic.
Now I know it's generally mainly my doing that you're in here. I got a really weird feeling last night from what transpired. Can you tell me why you drank the blood, Philip?
I really can't. I had a bit of a moment, and it just sort of came over me. I haven't really felt the same since that portal. All my nuts and bolts are all loosey goosey in here.
And did you really eat parts of Gerald?
I can't remember. I just
Okay, I stick my head back around the door. You need to try a little harder, Phil. And while you're at it, can you try remembering what you seen when you were in the portal?
why? It's coming back to me now. Yep. I was just sampling Gerald to make sure he was dead.
See, now the lie I would have used is you wanted to make sure he was fresh enough to attract the animals we were going to feed him to, because those animals, they don't want to eat nothing rotten. They just had to.
Still sticking your head from behind that door.
Oh, man.
I'm coming in and I'm like, no, let me get one thing clear here. With your medical training, did they teach you to sample someone to find out if they're dead, as opposed to, I don't know, putting a mirror under their nose or something like that?
So my head pops in. The side of the door. Now, from Philip, from a purely scientific standpoint, from a purely scientific standpoint, I am very curious. How does a previously dead person taste different than a still alive person? How do you quantify that change?
I misspoke. It was.
No.
I wanted to see how long he was dead for. You see, you can.
Same question, Philip.
I know.
Haven't you just killed him? You knew how long he was dead because you put a bullet in him.
No. You don't know if he was poisoned. The sampling, I don't have instruments here. And if it was a bitter taste or something off, then that may have come through. And I may have been able to ascertain that it was not us who befell poor Jared. Yet he was succumbed to some sort of foul play. But alas, we did shoot him to death, or he blew up. So that was about right.
I can't help but notice that in order to have that experience to know what is bitter or a bit off, there would have to be a certain baseline established before you get to that point to know what off tastes like.
So inside the cavern.
Wait, are you saying you nibbled on him before you killed him?
No. So I just think this has gotten way misunderstood. So let's just say,
like my daddy used to say, give him enough rope, he'll hang himself.
So the portal, I'm getting visions now, and it's going to be very pertinent that I talk about that immediately before they go away. If not just to divert the conversation away from what we had previously been talking about.
That'd be a good idea, Phil.
Yeah. So this is very hard to describe, but Harold, you saw your wife. Beau, you saw a close friend or somebody. I really don't know your background and history.
As you say the word wife, make a sanity roll.
Me or Harold?
You.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Nope. My new sanity is taking a bit of a hit, so I failed that. Yep.
Okay. Why don't you roll a? We'll call it a D4 on that one.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
And just to gain back two would be great.
Yeah. 2. You can subtract off your total sanity, and as y'all notice, very obviously that as he says the word wife, he starts to
Elevate.
twinge and shake for a minute, and his eyes go glassy, like he's looking off into the distance, and then he comes back, and it's not a Mel Brooks film. As he comes back, he continues his sentence. But you should know, as the result of your significant sanity loss, what was that, yesterday? Was that yesterday? Yeah, wife's a new trigger word for you.
Wow, just that seems almost too perfect right now.
So just to go meta for a second,
Right.
anytime one of our characters says that word,
okay,
Yes.
you as players may not know that. Let's just put that out there. But
you know what I was thinking about doing? I was thinking about getting married someday. I have always wanted to get married.
Now,
Too
come
soon?
on, Phil obviously he just suffered some sort of twitchy trauma there.
Mhm.
So let's
Some kind of cannibalistic conniption.
Let's give him a chance to finish his thought.
Yeah. So I saw my family, and it was.
How many members are there in your family?
It was just my.
Your spouse?
Yeah, my spouse and my daughter.
Oh, that's the other word.
Oh boy, let me just roll. So, y'all failed that one terribly.
Yeah. The daughter's a little more significant. Oh, but you dodged a bullet on that one. Only take 1 point of sanity loss.
This is going real well.
Yeah.
And I was basically trapped for an eternity, reliving their passing. It was.
Oh my gosh! So time passes much differently in that portal, because you were only in there, from my perspective, you were only in there a couple of minutes before you got spat back out.
It's I'm a man of science, but if there's a purgatory, that was it. It was horrendous. So I would anyway. So I'm just getting myself together. It's a bit surreal.
Now, did you happen to see old Quentin in there?
No. Quentin wasn't in there.
So I'm in quite the pickle here, because I have been prevailed upon by our companions to release my worry, release my fear and my trepidation, because we need you. But we need some assurances that you can control this behavior. I have a lot of sympathy for what you've been through, but you just can't be eating people. It's as simple as that.
Now, just to be clear, based on the discussion earlier, all people or just the bad people?
As
Just the
far as
tasty
I'm
ones.
concerned, I would
The
prefer
bad
there
and
is
tasty
no
ones,
eating of
according to Harold.
people, period. Any
Yeah.
people, all people.
Sounds disgusting to me.
Phil, what do you say to that?
I will do what I can to avoid such dietary indiscretions.
Well,
don't
that is
know
a
that-
very
that was-
half-assed
Yes, that didn't seem
response.
very definitive to me.
And unfortunately, what I can do is almost nothing to control it.
Did we just have a cannibalism intervention?
I think we're kind of in the middle of one.
Trying. It's not going too well.
I gotta say, I really feel for you, Phil. Not for the people eating thing, but for that time that you spent in the portal. That's changing my perspective of what you've been going through. I gotta admit, and I do feel like maybe there's some parallel between where you were and where Florence was.
I was
Be-
wondering about that, but my experience was such an opposite. Like Philip experienced eons in a minute, and I experienced no time at all, really. And yet time had passed. And I mean, Rose is alive. I hope. I mean, Rose is alive.
But maybe that was a space where people experienced something that was horrible to them one way or another, whether it happened already or whether they fear it happening.
And
Sage,
maybe
do
you're
you know how
communicating
to?
with her spirit.
You mean like her
Wait,
No,
ghost?
not that.
Way to put her at
No.
ease, Yacker.
No, not like her ghost, because you were there too, and you maybe your spirit was talking to her spirit,
Oh,
and maybe Philip's spirit was talking to the spirit of his family.
But Rose is alive. I just have to. I can't put Rose in the same category as.
Florence never left the room. We saw her still in the room.
Yeah, well, her spirit
I was just
doesn't
sitting
have
on
to
the
be in her
floor.
body, right?
But Philip, I seen him go into that green light, and then he come back out. I'm not saying they might not. I guess I'm suggesting that they're not the exact same thing. That's not suggesting that they might not be connected in some way. I mean, it's all strange and unearthly.
Yep, it's all pretty terrifying. But I think our first step is we got to go back to Phil here and see if we can all trust him again to be untied and to move on to whatever next step we're going to go to.
All right, I'm going to come up right to your face. I'm going to look you right in the eye, Philip, and say, Philip, you tell me the truth. Can we trust you? You've been trustworthy so far. You've been doing some stuff that's a little crazy, but you've also been keeping us safe to the best of your ability. You're going to keep doing that for us?
Have I hurt you or anybody in this body
No.
directly?
No,
Well,
not at all. I would
There
say
you go.
I would say you've been trustworthy.
Perfect. Then I think.
You directly drank my blood.
Okay, indirectly. Directly would be putting some sort of directly into an artery and going to tap. No, this is a little indirect, having the doozies, and that was
Well,
just
the way I'd like, I agree with Yacker. Phil ain't done none of us no direct harm. So I'd like to maybe just leave this as a warning. And if we ever happen to see him, doing a shot of blood or nibbling on someone's finger, well, then, we give him one warning and then we have to kick him out.
How about this, Phil? You agreed to try as hard as you could, but let's set some boundaries on this agreement. You tend to carry a lot of food with you, right? I've seen you packing your bags and you're always well supplied. Would you agree?
I'd like to think so.
So anytime you feel one of those urges,
Yep.
you're just going to eat something else instead. Tell me what you'll eat instead.
Cheese sticks.
Some salt tack. Sounds good.
Okay,
Yeah.
That's nice and specific. So if you think about it, if you have an urge, You make sure you have some salt tack.
How about some
Oh,
lady
and
fingers?
Phil, I forgot. Could you empty your pockets? Because I not only saw you nibble on that a piece of that fella, I saw you put some in your pocket for later. I don't know if you remember that, but I remember it quite clearly.
Okay, wait. Two things before he does that. Philip, do you have charm, psychology, or persuade?
Hmm.
And this isn't to determine everybody's response, but it's maybe to determine.
Psychology.
Okay, so make a psychology roll. This is kind of determine how y'all feel about.
Regular success.
Okay, so it's y'all can at least you'll walk away from this encounter not completely satisfied, but at least comfortable with his response that that he's answered the questions and that you believe you can trust him. Now that doesn't mean it will hold, but at least from this encounter, you're going to walk away from this conversation convinced. All right, and then and y'all can still play it out if there's more to it. But Beau, you just had asked him to empty his pockets.
Just take those little bits of meat out of your pocket. I just don't want you to be tempted.
Okay, and so I'll reach in and I'll fish out whatever bits of meat that I got in there and put them out in front.
Okay, make a sleight of hand roll.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I my success is a 10, and I did not get that. So
okay, okay, but not like a 96 where
no,
you like
no. Yeah.
Okay, reached into your stomach or something. Okay, it mixed in with the piles of meat, Beau. There's a make a spot hidden roll. Let's see this first.
Oh, was this the ring? Or whatever it was?
No.
Made it. 29.
Okay. Would you still have the ring on your hand? Is that right, Philip?
Yes, presumably.
Okay. So the ring would still be on his hand, but what you just notice is a little glint in the meat. And what color is it, Philip?
Oh, I would say probably like a gunmetal sort of color, like a off dark gray.
Are we talking about the same thing here?
I don't know.
I was talking about what had been in the chat that you made your roll for. Do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll just go with a lovely mix of purple, dark purple.
Okay.
So there's a glint of dark purple?
Yeah, like a little stone mixed in with the meat that's a dark purple.
Oh, well, I immediately think of Lomava, because we've seen enough little nuggets of Lomava. I thought, what the hell? Phil, listen. I look at it. Is it Lomava?
It's just a dark purple stone.
Oh.
How does it look in terms of size and shape compared to the pendants?
So one pendant has no stone. The other, remember, is when y'all popped it out, it was like almost like blown glass with purple liquid inside. This is an actual like gemstone.
Oh, then I'll hand it to Florence and say, Miss Florence, does this look like it goes to your pendant?
I mean, my pendant is just an empty circle. I doubt it. I couldn't. No?
Oh, I thought one of the pendants was missing
a blown glass filled with liquid.
Yeah, I think it's
that
the other
Harold
one.
took out.
Okay.
Yeah.
And am I remembering correctly that it's the other one had some additions to it to allow for the setting of that piece of glass with the liquid inside it?
Right.
And
Yeah.
The other one just doesn't have that.
Right. Yeah. Like Florence's version is plain. The one that Casper came through with, like they put somebody physically attached a mount to it, like soldered a mount
But
on.
this looks like a cut stone.
Yes.
Oh,
Well,
but-
no, it's a raw stone, not cut. But it looks like a quality that could be cut.
oh, okay.
Hey,
Well-
hey, Phil, where'd you find this?
Oh, jeez. Florence, I found it in the between the floorboards. You can have it if you want it. It's yours.
Oh my goodness,
does
it
that-
must have been roses.
Does that sound genuine to me?
Roll. Make a psychology roll.
I don't think I'm too good at that, but
By the way, I was thinking of a little
Yeah.
golden book offshoot, Harold the Hero, when he goes to Deadwood for you.
no, I did not make it.
Okay. I mean, it sounds authentic enough to you.
I mean, I do have that stuff of roses in here. It's certainly, I didn't know it was here, but that doesn't mean it wasn't, to be honest.
Well, here you go, Miss Florence. It obviously
mean-
belongs to you or Rose. So
I guess I'll just put it with her things. Sure.
How
I'll
does
just put it back on the table in the back.
how does the color look compared to the Lomava that I have studied? Does it look like this could be crystallized Lomava?
Make a spot hidden.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Do not have a good history with these.
And his
Oh,
eyeball
Come on,
pops out.
96.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I did fail, but not terribly.
Okay. It's hard to tell for you, right?
Okay.
The colors are similar, but you're not willing to make any scientific extrapolations based off what you see.
let's let Yacker eat it and see what happens.
Well, just suck
I'll
on it for a
do it.
while.
I mean, I could take a look at it under the microscope, all these, I don't usually use this stuff, but Rose had all these tools.
Sure. That sounds
Can I do that,
delightfully
Keeper?
scientific.
Sure.
I don't know what I'm looking for, but I can look. What kind of
Okay.
a roll would I don't know jewels or microscopes be?
Oh,
Yeah, I
Harold,
think-
have you looked through a microscope?
I
before?
think Florence that a science roll would probably make sense.
Oh boy, Harold, do you want to look at this through the microscope? I mean, I can roll, but I have a 1 in science, so
Yeah, I mean,
I will
science,
automatically see
science.
nothing. We can just see if I roll like a 96.
Yeah, so I have engineering and physics. Engineering is really my strong suit.
I would
And
I would
mechanical
take
repair.
physics. I mean, physics
Take
is part
physics?
of science. You
Right,
can
well,
roll
we'll
physics.
see how I do there. Oh dear, that was very close to a very bad roll.
I was like, crap. If you roll a 1,
Wow.
now I really got to figure this out.
No, it was a 95.
Woo. So yeah, I mean, one's a liquid and one's a solid, and there might actually be some mildew growing inside the lens of this microscope, and it's not very clear. So
Yeah, Florence, I'm terribly sorry. I got nothing.
Yeah, I couldn't see anything either. I mean, it's a stone. Rose worked with a lot of stones, and I haven't, honestly, I haven't gone through her stuff. I just kind of can't. I just can't. It's just been here for 4 years, so
Mhm.
I can stay a little longer. And I'll
Alright.
just set the stone on the table or leave it by the microscope or whatever.
So next step is we're gonna go try and find the kid that got carried away by the bat thing. Is that,
Yeah,
is that
I
the
think
Yeah,
that's a
I
good
consensus?
mean-
idea.
We still don't have a real plan for Casper, but I mean, Sage, do you
be-
think you could stay with him for a couple of hours while we just figure this out? As Harold said, we can pay you. I mean, this is all official.
of course, Florence. I'm happy to help you.
Okay. I mean, we won't leave him with you overnight. That would be crazy. We'll figure out a plan before then. There's so much going on.
Let's make sure she's got enough food and water. Some provisions here. I assume you've got stuff in the kitchen.
Yep, and you did just get all those things she asked for
Mm-hmm.
Earlier today,
Mm-hmm.
this morning, all the
Yep.
same morning.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been a busy morning.
Okay.
Feels like a long time ago for some reason.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, and gosh, I will try to get myself together and I can maybe try to communicate with Rose again when we get back. I can't go to that place right now, but I know that I need to.
Sounds like a plan. So we'll try and provision up for a little day trip.
Mhm.
Okay.
Get Phil a whole bunch of jerky.
Now, Keeper, just to keep this in mind. Now we know the direction that the thing flew away to,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And we know from talking to the people that were on the train, well, Florence, where the women and children got off to go to paradise.
Yes.
Would those two lines intersect?
Ooh. Give me either an intelligence or an education roll. Either one will work.
Okay, let me see what I got.
Just
here.
tell me what two lines are intersecting? The
The path away from the train that the women and children got out on, and the
Mhm.
direction that the flying creature.
Yeah, I'm
with
trying to
the boy
figure
went.
out
Okay.
if the flying creatures flew maybe to where this place where they're taking the women and children to. I got a 19 out of 60.
Ooh, look at you. Yeah. So if you're going based off what Florence has told you, right, about the women and children, but if what she says is accurate, it seems highly likely that those would intersect. Though it does seem that it would be potentially much more than a half day's ride away.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Given where that trail was on the train,
Yeah.
and knowing that the terrain northwest of here, not something any of y'all have spent much time in. It's not a direction any of y'all came from either, by the way. It starts to it's like layered plateaus. So it gets significantly the elevation increases in kind of short bursts and in these sort of plateaus, if that makes sense. If it
Sure.
doesn't, let me know and I'll try and render that out.
Florence, how long into the trip to Deadwood was it before they stopped and let the women and children know?
Well, it was just about exactly in the middle.
Halfway. And
Yeah.
how
I don't know
long
how
of a-
long the trip was.
Yeah, how long, Keeper? How long of a trip was it?
Oh,
Couple hours?
yeah, I think that sounds about right. We'll call it a couple hours.
It's about an hour in, right in the middle. I can find the place again. There was this really distinctive tree.
Well,
I look at
maybe-
that darn tree every time I make the trip.
Maybe that's the way to approach it rather than wandering around trying to find out which, because those creatures might have, they looked like they were making a beeline, but they might have swerved hither and thither, who knows? Maybe if we follow the train tracks to those points that you recognize, then we can head over on that same trail that the women and children went to, hoping that maybe those two situations will overlap.
That does make sense. We could even take the train.
Well, I
Save
would
some
sign
time.
up.
Just stop in the middle.
I'd like to have. Can you take horses on a train?
Yeah,
is there like a
there's
car, a stable car or something?
Livestock car.
Because and that crew, remember, they did take, they had some horses as well, though conceivably they could have been met with them. But yeah, there was definitely a livestock
Oh
car
yeah,
as a
let's
possibility.
do that then. Yeah, load our horses on the car.
How do
take
we get the train to stop in the middle when it don't normally stop?
Trains have emergency brakes where you can, yes. yes, you can, if there's some sort of disaster, you pull it and it signals to them that they have to stop.
We could also just talk to the conductor. I mean, that might be useful anyway, because he obviously had to agree that the engineer that train was going to stop there on that day.
Yeah,
But
but if he's in
wouldn't it
cahoots
tip
with
him
the,
off?
yeah, if he's in cahoots with the evil miners, then yeah,
Maybe he'd just take a bribe.
that's a good idea.
All right.
Maybe he took a bribe before. I mean, who's to say?
Maybe he'll take a good beating from Oak Tree Larson. We could try a little bit of sugar, a little bit of vinegar, offer him a bribe. If he doesn't buy it, then bring in Oak Tree.
Well, we have some
I
options.
want to see that.
Anybody know
But
how to drive a train?
Oh boy, I do not.
Oh no, we would do all this right about the point where we want to stop.
Okay.
Oh, offer him the bribe right in the middle.
Yeah.
So I assume we're talking about this because there isn't an actual train stop.
Yeah,
that
no,
place.
they just
Okay.
stopped in the middle of,
Okay.
But Florence said there are some, I can't think of the words.
There was a particular copse of trees.
Yeah.
And one that really caught my attention. So I can find the spot, but it's definitely not a stop.
All right. Seems like we got an adventure on our hands.
Yeehaw.
And then we'll be halfway to Rose.
Yes.
That's true. Mm-hmm.
What
We
could
should probably
possibly
bring
go
provisions.
wrong?
We should bring tents and food and
Well, if there's
plenty of beef jerky.
strangers on
salt
the
tack.
train, you'll be okay.
Right. As long as
Yeah.
nobody knows us. All right. So should we?
Okay, so I'm gonna go make arrangements with the station master to book whatever fare is necessary for the horses.
And for us.
Really quickly, I can't remember if I said this or not, but if I haven't already, I'm taking my medicine.
You already have, unless you want
Okay.
to take it again. You've taken your morning meds.
No. I know I got to take one in the evening. So
But you're bringing enough with you so that if we happen to get stuck out there, you've
yes.
got it.
Oh, I'm bringing my medicine. Yep,
Okay.
all of it, because I don't know how long we'll be gone.
Mm-hmm. That's true. And we'll probably want to talk with Sage with a contingency of if we don't happen to make it back on time, does she have food, and does she, we could pay her in advance and make sure she has
Is
all the
there
supplies
anyone
she
that
needs.
could assist her? Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because
Well-
knowing our luck, things aren't going to go as planned.
Yeah.
6 went away.
Mm-hmm. So should we start this journey after the break?
I was gonna say this is perfect time to take a break.
Perfect.
All right, great. Take 5:10. We'll see you guys in a few. And we're back from break. Michael, go for it.
Oh, I don't think this is up to me. I think this is up to y'all.
Oh.
Okay. I do have just one thing that I want to do while everybody's getting ready. Harold is going to run back to his house and grab supplies to attempt to make some sort of advanced sling while on the train for Yaker to be able to use his shotgun one-handed. So I'm going to get a bunch of
Awesome.
leather straps and some pieces of metal, and I'm envisioning something that goes around the waist, over the shoulder, and sort of flips up so that he can fire it with one hand with using his hip to hold the stock.
Boomstick. Boomstick.
Boomstick, yes. Well, see, that would be eventually. I want to make an actual like arm replacement kind of thing. This is just going to be sort of an advanced sling so that he can use it with his good arm.
Awesome. And
one-handed.
maybe like a bandolier, like just a place for shells that I can easily
Exactly. Yeah, so that you can
be able to cock
shoot
it more easily.
Yeah, so you can fire and load one-handed. That's my goal there. So I'm just going to grab a whole bunch of supplies, and then in the hour or whatever I've got on the train, I'll spend that time trying to put something together.
Doesn't Yaker just use? Can he just use a revolver, a really big one?
Go visit
Maybe,
Jane.
but
Get a different
I've only
gun.
ever used a shotgun, so I wouldn't know how to use I don't know anything about a revolver.
All right. Well, Harold, why don't you give me an engineering roll?
Okay.
And we'll see how good this sling of yours works.
To do engineering or mechanical repair?
All right, I'll give you mechanical repair.
Yay, we love the keeper.
Either way, it's a success.
Oh, look at that. Is what kind of success is it with your mechanical repair?
It is a standard success.
Oh, okay.
Either one. They're both very good.
Oh, okay. Then you'll get a standard shotgun carrier.
And that will keep Harold busy for the bulk of the train ride.
Yeah, I would think so.
So yeah, I'll take
Probably in me too,
horses
because
and-
you gotta like try it on me and tie it on me and strap it on me.
I gotta
and
strap it on
Oh
and
my
tighten it
gosh.
down
I don't
and
like where this is going.
try
you
it
gotta
out.
cinch it down.
Good and
Is it
tight.
hard?
I think can we call it my half cock?
Do I
Don't
have
go
to write
off.
that?
Please don't.
So now, if I were to name the episode Yocker's Half Cock, would I have a problem with YouTube?
No,
We
that's a
just say
standard- that's a
Yocker's half
standard idiom.
cocked.
I'm
Yeah, don't
asking
go
for a
off
friend.
half-cocked. Yeah.
Well, that will be our first tweet. If I name the episode Yocker's hat, well, yeah, I think that we need to keep that one. Florence, can you make a luck roll?
I can try.
You would love to make this luck roll too.
I really would. I did not, though.
Oh, all right.
Hard luck to get it.
You can't. You.
Sorry. It's not a critical fail, but didn't get it.
Okay. Well, we'll move on without
Okay.
any help from Sage.
Okay.
So how
Yeah.
many horses do we have? We have my horse, Phil's horse. We have Harold's horse. We have Yocker has a horse. Oak Tree, you were hoofing it, right?
Oh, yeah, Oak Tree doesn't. He doesn't.
Oh
ride.
yes, Oak Tree doesn't like horses.
Oh,
I
that's
don't
right.
have one. Florence doesn't have one, but
Do you
she's not
know-
against horses.
Okay, you know how to ride though.
I do. I do.
That was a strange
I
introduction.
rode
You
to-
know how to ride though.
No.
So I'll go rent.
I borrowed a horse to ride to Sage's.
Okay,
Whose
I'll
horse
go.
did I
Yeah,
borrow?
I'll go rent a horse for a couple days. I don't know that I'll be able to afford the tickets for.
We can give you some money.
Our passage.
Well,
Okay.
I'll
We'll,
If you
we'll
guys
pitch
buy
in.
if you guys buy the people tickets, I'll take care of the horses.
We can all pitch in, I think.
Okay.
yeah, for sure. And I will just leave a little bit of, I guess, a little extra money for Sage just in case anything comes up with Casper,
Okay.
and give her a rundown of where things are in the shop and profuse thanks, etc.
Thank you, Florence. Y'all be well on your trip. I wish there was something that I could make for you that would make the trip easier, but I just can't think of it at the moment.
Well, I appreciate the thought. The, the lack of a thought.
It's a shame. It's a shame your luck's so low.
Yeah, well, my luck's high. My roll was just higher. Yeah. And if there's anything else you can tell me about this whole vision business, I know or it seems like I'm going to have to try to talk to Rose again. And I mean, how did you put me in that state?
I didn't put you in that state.
I mean, you sat me on the floor and you were rubbing my head, or there was something. I mean, how would it have happened otherwise? It's never happened before.
I only helped you make the connection. You were already there. I just clarified things for you.
But what is, I mean, I'm sorry. I don't understand though. How did you clarify it? What does that mean? This is just
It
really
means that
different.
it means that you and Rose are connected, and there was just a there was a fogginess between you, and I cleared the fog for a moment.
Okay. Okay. Well,
I
thank
feel
you
like
for clarifying.
every time Florence gets an answer, she's like, "Crap, that's not what I
Yep.
wanted to hear."
Yep, that's basically it. Well, Sage, we hope we'll be back in just a few hours, but you know where things are here. Help yourself to anything you need.
So I'll see you in 5 or 6 weeks.
Well,
Hours.
At
Hours.
best.
we'll definitely be. We won't be back
5 or
till,
6 weeks.
even if we took the trip out and didn't find anything and took the trip back, I think we're going to be gone for the day. If we
It's an
fly-
hour out and an hour back.
No, it's an hour out, but then we've got to go as far. We don't know how far away the
And it
people
Well,
went.
then
and-
Florence misinformed Sage,
And it's an hour out on the train.
which we're taking.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Okay, y'all are taking the train. Okay.
But we won't be able to take it back because I don't think they're going to stop for a bunch of people on horseback in the middle of the.
Yeah.
It depends on how hard you try to stop them.
Yeah,
That's
we could
true.
bandit it.
If you have guns, a waving.
And I will say, I will say, we might actually get through a day rather quickly in these episodes.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, but the train, right, departs in the morning, and we're kind of well past that hour. So we might kind of fast track through the day if there's just things that you want to gather. Like Harold wants to go get leather to work on the thing for Yaker, and if there's anything else that any of you want to gather or business that you want to do in town, we don't have to play out every little interaction, but if anything seems important, we can.
So I think I'd mentioned before, I want to get supplies. Like I'm sort of assuming that we're going to be sleeping rough. So I'm going to have,
Okay.
bedroll, extra food,
Okay.
water. So I'm assuming that it's going to be, even as much as 4 days, 3 or 4 days, sort of out in the rough. So I'm going to
Yeah,
be packing
Sage,
for
we'll
that.
just be gone 4 or 5 hours, no biggie. But let me clarify, Keeper, are you saying that there's one train a day and we're going tomorrow?
Yes.
That's what he's saying.
Because if that's the case, I don't think we would have decided that, would we? Let's let the little boy just hang out there for a day and put everything on hold. We'd probably just ride.
Yeah, I think you're probably right.
Yeah, but with the note that we would still have to be ready.
Yeah,
to
we
go.
can. Yeah, we can We can get ready in an hour or two. But yeah, we can just ride along the train tracks till we get to the spot you recognize. We don't have to go on the train.
It's not going to be a horrendous difference in time. It might take you 3 hours to
And
get
if
out.
we
to
don't
that.
get on the train, then we don't fall victim to the evil schemes that the keeper might be brewing up for the train ride.
It's true.
Oh yeah, because the empty desert between here and that tree is totally.
Now we do have another problem that we've got to iron out with this new plan, and that is how Oak Tree travels.
Oh, fuck. Can we get a wagon
I was going to say, get a wagon.
for all those supplies?
Didn't we
It'll
already
help
have,
with supplies and
didn't
with
we
the
already
kid.
have a buckboard for something?
Oak
Didn't we
Tree,
rent a
you want to
buckboard?
weigh in on what's a permissible mode of travel for you?
Well, actually, I looked it up. He has a 15% on riding, so, but I guess he could ride with someone else. But he's awful big on a horse. That's the problem. The horses don't like it, and he don't like it. And so,
What just so happens, I think there's a draft horse in town.
well,
A what?
A big
Draft
old
horse?
draft horse, like a Clydesdale.
Oh, got it.
I'm sure they, maybe you could buy that or rent that. It's not been too busy lately, so I'm sure they'd take some money for it.
well, horses just seem to get spooked, so that's why I don't ride them. It doesn't work out so well. So I never ride horses. It's just not a good thing to do. And so
Can we get you a Segway?
that'll work.
Kemp, there's
I
nowhere to
guess
power it up.
I guess some sort of little, I don't know. I didn't really think about it. I made him so he couldn't ride. I didn't have to figure that out. So yeah, he won't ride a horse.
Well, how about we rent a wagon? That way we can fit more supplies. We can fit oak tree and our supplies in there. So we're not.
And
And
also
if we're
since-
coming back
weighing
with an
down our
injured boy,
horses.
as Yaker said.
Yeah.
That's
Mhm.
true.
And
Yeah,
Florence,
yeah.
since you don't have a horse, instead of renting you a horse or whatever, you and Oak Tree could
Yeah.
just ride the wagon together.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Okay.
All
Or
right,
I
wh-
could
The
ride
problem- the
Harold's
problem
horse
with
if Harold
buckboards-
wants to ride the wagon and work on the sling.
We need a
Mm.
stagecoach. All right, we need a covered wagon.
That'll work.
I was gonna say we're about to play a mini game of Oregon Trail. Everybody ready?
Oh, Jesus.
Dysentery for everyone.
No.
TPK on the 2-hour horse
We go
ride.
west, we can go through the Donner Pass.
Everybody got cholera.
It's like getting across a
Okay.
river in Savage World.
So we're renting a wagon.
Oh,
Okay.
oh my God, that was crazy.
For those playing the home game, we played Savage Worlds a couple of years ago, and everyone almost died trying to cross a river.
Oh,
Oh my gosh.
That was when we had our French Canadian.
Yeah,
It was.
and, giant ticks.
Hmm.
Holy.
All right.
All
We're
right,
gathering stuff
So we
up,
got a
heading out.
wagon and some horses and some
Yep.
supplies.
okay.
Can we
So
fast track that.
yeah. So that's fine. So tell me,
How many
tell me
circus
what you-
peanuts
y'all
can
are-
we carry on this wagon?
y'all are gonna be in a covered wagon.
Okay.
Who's
No,
riding?
I thought we'd just get one of those two-wheel jobbies so you can travel lighter and faster. A buckboard's just 2 wheels and a horse.
Y'all got to decide. It's up
I
to
was
y'all.
I was
Let's do
picturing
that.
a 4-wheeled one, but no cover.
Yeah. Because in case there's an injured kid we got to bring back.
Okay, yeah, 4-wheel one. And speaking of wheels, seems we're going to be going through rough terrain. We should bring an extra wheel too, in case we break one.
Put a spare on the bottom.
Yep.
And I would say it's reasonable in this scenario that Yaker y'all would have some sort of wagon.
Oh, right, for carrying dead bodies and
Oh,
caskets
yeah.
around.
So you
Sure.
could
Yeah.
just use in fact that would kind of be nice. Y'all headed out into the desert with
In the
wagon
hearse.
that has Seraphim Falls painted across the
Nice.
side.
So
Yeah,
for
and you have
Philip,
an open
it's like an
in the
Uber.
back to throw the kid in.
Oh God.
Philip, it's like Uber delivers.
Yeah, a travel coffin.
Uber Eats.
And then
Uber
one,
Eats, that's it.
one full of food and snacks and stuff.
All right. Who's going to be in the Seraphim Falls wagon, and who's going to be on horse, and how many horses are pulling the Seraphim Falls wagon?
20.
Yes, Yaker.
It takes 2 horses to pull it.
Okay.
Or a mule.
So those are Yaker's horses. If it's
Mhm.
his wagon,
Yep.
they're his horses.
Yep.
Or
Uh,
2 tiny ponies.
I've got a horse. Phil's got a horse. Harold's got a horse. And let's see, Yaker and Florence are in the wagon. And
Nope.
we're going,
Uh,
no, Oak Tree's in the wagon. Oak Tree's in the wagon.
Oak Tree and Harold are in the wagon. Florence is riding my horse.
Okay.
I am making Yaker's
Oh, yeah.
sling riding
And
in the back of the
Yaker, are
wagon.
you
You
driving?
get?
Yeah, Yaker should be driving.
One-handed?
Yeah.
And you could
Yeah, I
you could
gotta be
actually
driving.
you could be teaching Oak Tree how to drive the wagon.
Let's
Sure.
see. Oak Tree would have his ability for, because he can sort of ride and let's see. Oh, drive wagon. He's got it. It's 20. He's got a 20% a 20 on it actually, which is pretty good. Halfway decent. Not horrible. Drive wagon or coach.
Okay.
Okie dokie.
All right.
Let's hit the trail. By trail, I mean the railroad. Follow the railroad track.
until we see the
All right.
trees.
Okay, so and Yaker, you said you've packed enough food for 4 days.
Yeah, and I'm encouraging everyone else to do the same. Like, I'm not bringing food for everybody.
Sure, I'm not keeping account, but I'm just trying to get a general idea. Is there anything else that y'all are bringing?
Yep. Dynamite!
Lots of shotgun shells.
Okay.
No, I'm serious about the dynamite.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, that's a great idea.
Rifle, pistol, and a bunch of shells.
Okay.
And
I
all
got
supplies
my-
for Yaker's thing.
I'm
Food.
sure
in case
everyone
they-
has like their big Bowie knives, their good knives, and
You need torches and stuff like that, campfire thing, but you still need torches just in case.
yeah, shovels for the campfire pit, that kind of thing.
Bedrolls.
Okay. Right. No, I all
Shovels
of
for
all
the
of, all
latrine.
of
You just
all
can't
of-
be taking a.
your normal sidearms
Yeah,
and
you can.
rifles is totally good and like makes sense. And dynamite, I just is there anything before we get out in the middle of the desert and you're like, I've got a bluebird?
We need a whole bunch of water, a barrel, a small barrel of water.
We're not keeping track of those kinds of things, but like water, obviously, I think you'll have. I mean, it might roll off and
Yeah,
smash
I like
in the
the
dirt,
I
but-
like the idea of a barrel because we got to keep all these horses watered too,
Mhm.
not just ourselves.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, for this kind of chip, it would be like a couple barrels of water. Right.
I'm not like I'm not gonna do accounting for basic needs. I'm just talking about like, is there anything that anybody's taken out in the
Any special?
right in the special that I just I don't want to be in the middle of the desert and you're like, I brought the coffee maker off the shelf and
The blender that I stole from.
Yeah. So,
Um,
any special tools, anything like that would be out of the ordinary. That's all I'm asking for right now. Obvious.
No, I mean, I guess the only other thing is I tend to keep some woodworking tools on me.
Okay, like that's good to know.
Yeah, so
Okay.
it's because of the coffin making. I just tend to keep them with me, sort of at all times.
That makes sense.
and Harold does have I'm picturing like a doctor bag.
Right.
Just
Which-
full of a bunch of tools and stuff that may come in handy for trying to make Yaker's thing. So
Okay.
And I'm just, Florence will have some extra clothes for Rose just in case her, white dress or whatever it is. I don't know what she wears in the, aren't they all running around in, never mind. Just in case.
Yeah, the old gowns with the back. flapping
Yeah, I don't know.
Florence,
I
I
didn't
mean,
envision that part.
yeah, you're Florence. Florence would wear whatever Florence wears. If Florence wants to do like pants and a flannel, that's fine by me. It's just,
Oh, just I'm sorry if that wasn't clear. Just we're halfway to Rose, so I'm just thinking if we end up going to
Gotcha.
Deadwood, a
Yeah.
change for Rose, not
Okay.
for me.
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
and Florence, should we bring them them pendants, or do you think they'd be better left here?
I mean,
I don't think you should leave
my
them
clasp
on.
is broken. I can't wear it. I don't want to lose it. Rose told me always to keep it on, but I can't wear it if it's broken.
Can't
Oh,
we just use some wire?
I'm
to
sure I can fix it.
Twist it
Well,
together.
if you can fix it, I would like to bring mine because she was very, very clear that I needed to keep that thing with me.
Yeah. In that case,
I
I,
don't
think
know
we
about
should
the
probably
other
bring them.
one.
I think we should probably bring them both,
Okay. Okay.
just to keep them safe.
Bo, you've got your rock, right? Your violence detection rock or whatever
Oh,
it is
yeah.
that we strung
Yep.
around your neck.
Yep, I'm wearing that on a leather strap.
Yeah.
So and I've certainly got some wire that I can wire up Florence's pendant. It's not going to look good, but
Now, have we got something besides money in case we have to bribe someone? Like,
I mean, I still have those jewels you gave me that we were supposed to give to like a family.
Oh
something.
yeah.
oh, bring those because if we find the families, you might want to.
Yeah, they're still in my bag.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've got my good looks to bribe people with.
Mm.
Yep.
You can maybe steal a bottle
Yep.
of Lomava whiskey.
You might have to roll at disadvantage to use those good looks.
I don't know why you'd say that.
All right. Jewel.
Who knows what this kid looks like?
We
I
have a
think,
verbal description.
and I think
y'all
Wooden
would-
Florence and I know him, and
Yeah,
Yacker too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You three would know what he looks like.
Okay.
He can't remember his name very well.
Not to mention, if we found some kid
Oh.
in the clutches of some beast and we're like, no, you're not the kid we were looking for.
Yeah. Yep. Take care of yourself.
Wrong kid. We're moving on. Sorry, pal.
Oh, could you take those teeth marks out for just a second?
In all seriousness, maybe not the Lomava whiskey, but definitely some bottles of whiskey, because that's a pretty good bribe,
Yep.
Okay.
depending on who. Like, bring a couple of bottles of whiskey.
Any jars of flour in case we need some long range weapons?
I can't find the name of the kid. It's too many notes.
It's in the newspaper clipping. We can find it from a few weeks ago. All right, the bottles of whiskey and how many sticks of dynamite? I do need to know that, Beau.
Let's say half a dozen.
All right.
So we can either blow up something big or several smaller things.
Okay.
And by things, I mean people.
That's what I guess. Philip, that probably works out well, right? Like they come out cooked and flayed all
And
in one.
And cut.
Yeah, just real bite size.
All right. Anything else? All right. Well, let's get your coconuts out so that you can make it your way out of town.
I think I've got.
As you head southwest out of town, I don't know how well you kind of remember the map, but there's that. As you exit, the first kind of massive landmark will be that huge stone
Intuition Rock.
Yeah, right before the train station. As you make your way towards Intuition Rock, you can hear the rattles of snakes laying out all over on the rock, and Harold, Yacker, and Florence would know this as kind of a common seasonal phenomena that as the days start to get warmer and the sun heats up Intuition Rock, the rattlesnakes tend to lay on it and warm up on it. And so there's just kind of this odd shaking sound as you pass the rock, which is the rattles of the snakes going.
Hey.
That sounds unsettling.
It's a good way. It's a good way to start your journey out, right?
Mhm. Yep.
And
Yeah.
That's good omen.
Looking at the map here, I'd like us to cross to the southern side of the track so that we don't have to go through that pig farmer's land.
The pig farm is south of the tracks.
Not on the
Uh-oh.
not on the map you provided.
Yeah, on our map, it looks like it's north of the tracks.
Yeah.
The keeper will. Oh, you cannot minimize Zoom when you are recording this meeting. Well, there we go.
But either way, just whichever
Okay.
side is not his land.
Okay, then, man, I feel a little embarrassed here.
Don't worry.
Be happy.
Fill the silence.
Yep, talk amongst yourselves for a moment. Okay, I'll just I believe y'all, but I just wanted to see where the heck I put it because I shouldn't have put it there. But anyway, okay. All right, we'll just for the sake of narrative here say y'all are avoiding the pig farm, and once you get down the way, it won't matter anyway. All right. And it's a fairly smooth ride. You headed out, of course, pretty close to noonish, right? Sun kind of high in the sky and beating down on you. Not too bad though. I mean, it is May, so it's not an overwhelming heat, but the sun is kind of high in the sky on top of you, and uh, there's you're on the trail. Let's say a couple hours, somewhere between 2 and 3 hours. And Florence, you do spot the tree up ahead that that served as the landmark for you.
Great. Well, I think this is where we're going to branch off.
Okay, I'll with my tracking skills, I'll get down and see if I can see horse trail, wagon tracks.
Yeah, I think that's a survival roll for tracking. I thought there was a tracking. Do you have a tracking skill?
No, I don't have tracking, but I have survival.
Okay, yeah, just use survival then.
34 out of 50, so just a regular success.
Yeah, and the trail's pretty easy to pick up in terms of, where it's moving, almost perpendicular off from the tracks. And Beau, what you're able to kind of observe from it is that it's a very well-trod trail.
Mm-hmm.
There's kind of a substantial amount of activity that goes along it. You're able to see other things like there's cart tracks definitely, as well as a lot of footprints of various sizes and hoof prints. So there seems to be a lot of movement. One thing that you do notice once you get, a good like 50, 100 feet away from the tracks, all of the footprints head one direction, right? There's definitely horse prints that go back and forth, and no way to tell which way the track prints or the wheel prints are going, but all of the footprints all head north away from the tracks.
Okay, then follow the footprints, right?
Yeah.
Interesting that none have come back.
Yeah.
And
Definitely not ominous.
Nope.
I'm going to stay. I'm used to being a wagon guide. So as a wagon guide, you stay out well ahead of the wagons to scout for danger.
Okay.
So I'm going to stay out well ahead, so that if need be, I can circle back and as soon as I see signs of any sort of human activity.
Okay. So what you see
really quickly.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Michael. I'm assuming by now, Harold has fit the sort of arm thing to me.
His half cock.
3
Michael.
hours in
It's
the.
been 3 hours. I mean, that's.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's a leather harness. I guess we could.
Yeah.
Yeah. We can. Sure, we'll give you that.
So
I know
he's got his half cock. Is that what you...
Yes.
Yonkers now have cock.
Okay.
Yes. And so give us some kind of visual for how your apparatus works. One of you, either Harold or Yaker, give us something to go on here.
Get me to do it?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
you designed it.
I'm picturing that it is on his his arm side. It's
Okay.
a gun sling with a bandolier and a waist section where the shotgun in the resting position, the stock comes up below his armpit and the barrel's pointed down. He can then rotate it forward and out a little bit so that the stock rests in his hip.
Okay.
And he can aim with his arm, with his good hand and fire, and that there's some way that it can twist, sort of rotates so that he can then load it. Oh no, wait, no,
Okay.
it's a break, right? It's a
break.
Yeah.
I'm picturing a problem. Yeah, so if it breaks, there would just be a spot where it would stop. Oh no, he can just bring it back to the regular position.
Yeah.
Break it open.
Yeah. Put
Drop
under
a couple.
the arm.
Drop a couple
Yep.
shells in, and then back up to the firing position.
Okay. Cool.
So as we're going along, I am just practicing like loading it, and I'm not aiming the gun towards anyone, obviously, but I'm having
I'm glad you
clarified that.
said
not
that.
aiming
Yes.
towards anyone, but I'm practicing sort of loading shells in, and then I would unload it, sort of just to get in the habit of doing it.
And you would
And
do
I'm
this
going really slowly.
in the bed of the wagon, right? So that when you drop shells, you're not dropping them in the
Yes.
on the
Yep.
desert. Okay. So
Yeah,
I'll take your position.
Once we
We can
got
swap.
sort of this worked out, I'm having Harold or Oak Tree. They're both probably able to drive a wagon, so one of them would be driving the wagon while I'm practicing this.
Okay. And so as you head out, I described a little bit, right? They're way off in the distance are kind of these plateaued hills, right? They're very flat topped and with these sharp rises that create levels, almost like a tiered cake. And they, as you look off into the distance, I mean, they're way out there, and you're guessing that it's probably a good day and a half ride to reach those. And is that something y'all are going to continue in that direction? It doesn't seem like there's much in between you and those tiered hilltops.
As long as I keep seeing the footprints.
Okay.
And, I've got my hunk of gold out. So if we stumble across an area that's a mass grave or something,
Okay.
hopefully it'll let me know.
Okay. And you, somebody make a spot hidden.
Not it.
I'll do it.
You're in the wagon.
Oh, I'm in the
practicing.
I can't do it. Yeah.
Yeah, that
Oh,
wouldn't make too much
I
sense.
can do it.
All right, go for it, Florence.
Okay. I could burn luck. It's close.
Okay.
No words from the party.
Yeah,
All right.
Luck is overrated. Burn it.
Okay, I just burned my luck.
It didn't help you make your last luck roll.
It didn't. Oh, true. Yep.
Yeah.
Got it. Thanks for that.
It's
Very,
not
very
necessarily a good-
supportive. Okay, what do we got?
So slightly off the trail that you're following, Beau's got his head he's focused on what's on the ground right in front of him. But Florence, you notice a mound off to the left that just kind of looks different than the rest of the landscape. It's curious to you.
Oh, sure it does.
Oh,
Sorry, that reminds me of the mound in my own backyard.
Oh no.
I promise this one's not filled with cat shit.
Oh, good.
oh,
Oh, good. I
I
thought
was
you were
wondering
just,
how many bodies
you
you've buried.
Oh, this mound was already there. Anyway, Florence sees a suspicious mound.
Yep.
Okay.
Wow, I'm
What's
so dying
that?
to know about the mound in your backyard.
Yeah, you can't.
How can you leave us without a story?
Oh, I thought everyone already knew the story.
I do
I'll
not know
tell
the
you
story.
after because we only have 5 minutes left, and Florence just saw a suspicious
Okay.
mound.
It's fair.
How far away is it?
Not far, like 40,
Like tens
50
of feet. Okay.
Yeah, 40, 50 feet off the kind of the trail you're on.
Then I'm just gonna ride over and check this out.
Okay. And as you're atop your horse and looking down, you're pretty sure that it looks like a grave.
Oh,
Oh.
dang it.
Hey, Beau, can you bring that special stone of yours over here?
I'm far enough away. You'll have to whistle to get my attention.
Oh. I don't know if well, Emily can't do it. Sure, Florence whistled. Magic.
Roll for whistle.
I mean, I would be looking back from time to time, but
Sure.
yeah,
Well,
if they whistle,
If
Okay.
it's 40 to 50, sorry,
I'll
if it's
pull
40 to
up and-
50 feet, somebody would hear me who can then like speak to Beau.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I'll split the difference.
I'm okay with you want Beau's attention. That's who you're
I want
asking.
Beau's special violence
right.
sensing
Okay,
stone.
I'll head
Beau,
back to the
you
wagon
turn.
and then
Yeah,
I'll-
you look over your shoulder and you see Florence back there waving at you and pointing down at the ground. So
Okay, I'll gallop over.
okay.
Does this look like a grave to you?
Is it like a single grave?
Yeah, it looks. I mean, it's a mound, probably 4 feet wide and about 6 feet long. It's a little wider.
No, a little wider than just a single grave.
Is your stone saying and telling you anything about
I-
this
I don't
area?
know. Is the
Uh,
did violence happen here?
no, there's no. The stone's not like setting off any kind of alarms.
Well,
I
it
mean, I
sure-
know people die, but it's just
Yeah.
out here in the middle of nowhere.
Sure does look like a grave. I'm mighty curious, but maybe we should talk to Yaker. I don't know whether it's decent to go digging around in a grave after someone been put down, but I sure would like to know.
Well, if anyone could do it decently, it would be the Undertaker.
I'll do it. I just want his opinion.
Oh,
on
that's what I'm
whether-
saying. It should
Oh,
be
yeah,
Yaker.
yeah, yeah. So I'll go back and say, Yaker, we found what looks like a grave, maybe big enough to have buried 2 people side by side. I have a great curiosity as to who might be buried out here in the middle of nowhere. Would it be considered decent to poke around
is it-
there?
Beau, is it a grave or is it more of a cairn? Like, is it a bunch of rocks
There's
piled up
there's
on
no
top?
rocks. It's just a pile of dirt. It's about 6 feet long, 4 feet wide, so a bit too wide to be a single grave. But it's mounded up, so whatever's under it is pushing up the dirt.
I think if we because we got to investigate everything and find out what's going on.
Yeah,
As
I don't
long as
even-
we
yeah, I don't even-
reinter.
Okay. Oh, there you go. I like the sound of that. We don't even know that it is a grave because there's no
Yeah.
marking. So
I think we can figure it out, and then we can just reinter the bodies if they're there and say our own prayers for
all
them.
righty, oak
It
tree.
could
you
just
wanna,
be a bunch of cat shit in plastic
Oak
bags.
tree, you want to help me shovel some cat shit?
Well, now, who the hell would do something as psychotic as that?
I don't know.
Wait, I don't remember that part. It was
That's-
sealed bags.
That's
of cat
serial
shit?
killer stuff to me.
Wow.
That's amazing.
I'm
like
like
glad
serial
bags.
killer disposed of the
Oh,
bodies
my
in the
God.
cats and then buried it.
Yeah, probably.
Oak tree, you want to help me
Mhm.
dig around here? We got a couple of spades.
Sure thing. Come on down. And help
All
out.
right, and we'll have to find out what's in the mound next week.
No.
What's in the mound?
What's in the mound?
No.
Oh, that's terrible. All right, let me get back to
Here's-
this.
There's coconut and dark chocolate in there.
Mm.
Ooh, the
And
chocolate's
And a
gonna be all
little
nicely
bit of
melty.
hydrogenated oil.
If it's in bags, it'd be just fine. All right, that's going to do it for us. Thanks for joining us tonight under the library. We'll be back next week. In the meantime, you can find us on underthelibrary.com, on Twitter at underthelib. If you want to see us play this game and you're listening by podcast, you can find us on YouTube. Otherwise, find us wherever you get your podcasts. So until next time, for me, for Michael, Chris, Wayne, Emily, Scott, and Rick, thanks so much for joining us, and we will see you next time.